Live from the studio in Stauffer Flint at the University of Kansas, you're watching KUJH News.
Coming up on KUJH, find out the precautions that Kansas City Police Department took to ensure the safety of Chiefs fans.
And chaos for all restaurants in Kansas City during the Super Bowl parade.
And an update on recent Super Bowl sales at local businesses. And I'm Catherine Galliani.
Halen Wilhite joins us live for a first look at the weather for the week. Halen?
Yeah, it's been an utter mess out here at KU. Just looking around outside, you can see the salt is everywhere, but it is still slick as it can be out here. It's been kind of a disaster morning. Roads have been super slick. A lot of people have been slipping on the sidewalks. A lot of people have been slipping on the roads as well. Definitely not a great start to the day. KU even had a little bit of a delay with classes, and I honestly would have hoped that we would have canceled later, or at least canceled it all, because these sidewalks and roads are just still not that great out here. And even just right now, you can see it is still lightly flurrying out here, and we'll continue to see a little bit some flurries for the rest of the afternoon. But good news is that we will be eventually tracking some more warmer weather on the way for this weekend, talking about the 50s and the return of the maybe 60s this weekend as well. So got another roller coaster few days ahead of us, so we're going to keep all up to date with that. But back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Halen. We start off with some tragic news. This week, 3 students were killed in a shooting on Michigan State's campus. CNN's Miguel Marquez has more on the story.
Students fleeing. A shooter, this time on campus of a major university, Michigan State in East Lansing.
I was shaking in the bathroom, and it was just terrible. It's just preparing myself for the worst thing ever.
The shooting started around 8:30 p.m. in a classroom, just as the last class of the day was wrapping up.
I booked it to the far side of the class and ducked down, and he came in and shot 3 to 4 times in our classroom.
The shooter, 43-year-old Anthony Dwayne McRae, with no known connection to the school, made his way from a classroom to the Student Union building. 2 students were killed in the classroom, 1 at the Student Union.
We had officers in that building within minutes, and in that building they encountered several students who were injured.
Across the university of some 50,000 students, panic.
Myself and a few others that were with me, we took heavy furniture from around the library and just essentially barricaded ourselves into a study room to make sure we were safe.
The dead, Alexandria Verner, a junior from Clawson, Michigan, and sophomore Brian Fraser and junior Ariel Anderson, both from Grosse Pointe. Allie Vanderow, a senior at the school, watched the shooting and response unfold, unable to believe what she was seeing.
Every time I think all of us hear a loud noise, we freak out. I mean, this isn't thoughts and prayers. We need change, and we need change now. How many times do we have to sit here and watch my students die, our friends die? Please, something needs to change.
Students, staff, and residents now coming together to pray and cope with how this could happen here. The shooter's father tells CNN his son grew bitter, reclusive, and angry after the death of his mother 2 years ago. The shooter was charged with carrying a concealed weapon in 2019. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor. His probation ended in May of 2021.
The shooter was found dead from a self-inflicted gun wound.
The Kansas City Chiefs parade brought thousands of fans together to celebrate the team's success. And while excited to be part of the celebration, the big crowd also raised the safety concerns for some in attendance. KUJH's Bella Lyon tells us about special precautions put in place to ensure families could have fun and stay safe.
Kansas City Chiefs fans of all ages joined together to welcome back their team. But for parade goers with young children, extra precautions were put in place to ensure they stayed together.
I've told my son to stay very close to me all the time. He never leaves without our little group. He's always holding hands across streets and never wanders away. And we brought plenty of stuff to keep him occupied in one spot. There's so many people that just one moment, my kid's gone. So that worries me.
Prior to the grand celebration, the Kansas City Police Department announced that there will be family unification spots throughout the parade route.
The unification spots include staple businesses of downtown Kansas City, such as Crown Center, UMB Bank, and the T-Mobile Center. Police officers were stationed throughout the parade route and rally to assist attendees. Young Kansas City fans Carter Heavican and Kellen Parker said their families made a clear plan in case of separation.
Just call, and I think we're going to meet up at like the TV probably if we do get lost down there.
According to the Kansas City Police Department, 23 children were temporarily lost at the celebration but were all safely returned to their guardians. Reporting in Kansas City, Missouri, I'm Bella Line, KUJH News.
The Kansas City Police Department was joined by multiple other departments near the city to raise police presence for the busy day.
With such a long day at the parade, I'm sure many people were hungry and wanted to find some places to eat.
KUJH's Dana Nasser took a closer look and has the details on how bars and restaurants handled such a busy day.
The Chiefs' win brought about a crazy day for restaurants and bars. The parade, being in downtown Kansas City, encouraged an influx of people in the area, meaning a higher demand for service and issues with timing and efficiency. The bar at Stillwell, a Kansas City hotel bar that was close to the parade route, experienced sporadic large pops of customers throughout and prepped heavily before the big day.
So basically, we're getting the servers ready with extra backup like roll-ups, bartenders. We're doing larger beer recs based on the clientele that we have. So we got extra kegs, extra cases of beer, and then we just try to staff heavy and call people in to help with the service.
Although bars had prepared for the day, there were unexpected turns that called for desperate measures.
We have basically everyone, all hands on deck. Like I said, like other people from departments, so like front office people or like people from housekeeping were helping us out, bus tables, get food out and such, and yeah, there you go.
With the high influx of people in the area, many bars and restaurants were understaffed and unprepared for so many people in such a small amount of time. Especially in the Power and Light District, which was directly on the parade route, there was a difficulty to not only find places to sit and eat, but order anything with just so many people. Although a long day of service, there was definitely positive benefits for local bars and restaurants.
Today was our busiest day so far, so we did really well themselves.
It seems there were a lot of takeaways from today from a service perspective, but most bars were able to handle and maintain their service and hopefully learn for future parades and Super Bowl wins. For KUJH, this is Dana Nasser.
Lawrence businesses have seen an overwhelming response from customers since the Chiefs' big win Sunday night.
That's right, Kyle. I've been following the merchandise sales for a couple weeks, so I decided to go back post-Super Bowl to see how these businesses are holding up.
Just when Lawrence businesses thought they couldn't get any busier, an influx of customers arrived this week, hoping for the latest Chiefs gear.
More sales, of course. A lot of people were looking for the Super Bowl shirts, and we finally have them in, so clearly a lot more people coming in now.
And local fans relied on these businesses for their Super Bowl specific merch.
Today I'm getting some stuff for the Super Bowl for the Chiefs, so I'm getting today.
And these businesses were prepared for their eager customers with their merch arriving almost immediately. One location even sold out of Super Bowl merch on Sunday night.
23rd Street, they received products that night and put it out that night, sold out that night, but we did not reopen like they did. Got them in around 2 o'clock on Monday.
You may be wondering what retailers would have done in the event of a Kansas City loss.
We just put a UPS label on it and sent it back. And
luckily, no merch will be going to waste this Super Bowl season.
Well, I think it's safe to say that another Super Bowl win by the Kansas City Chiefs is definitely bringing in the business.
And when we come back, find out how KU students recognize another championship victory Sunday night on Massachusetts Street.
And Chiefs fans celebrated down in Kansas City after the big Super Bowl win. Welcome back to KUJH. Sunday night, thousands of fans took to Massachusetts streets in Lawrence to celebrate the Kansas City Chiefs' 38-35 Super Bowl victory over the Philadelphia Eagles after Kansas City kicked a game-winning goal as time expired.
As soon as the clock hit triple zeros, fans immediately stormed Mass Street to commemorate the Chiefs' second Super Bowl win in 4 seasons. As fans migrated from various restaurants and bars, they filed into the intersection of Mass and 9th Street, making this the second time in the last year that Kansas fans have celebrated a championship in that same spot. Despite the Chiefs being down 10 going into the second half, fans never seemed nervous, knowing that they have been in similar positions before and that the Chiefs were known for their comebacks.
We were all trusting Pat Mahomes. We were all trusting the Chiefs in general, Andy Reid and all the coaching staff. It was just truly amazing, and I just really appreciate being here in Kansas this time, 2 years in a row, being champions of whatever competition is in front of us. So,
Kansas fans now look forward to hopefully storming Mass in a couple months once again, but for now they are enjoying yet another Super Bowl championship for the Kansas City Chiefs.
And the Chiefs fans celebrate another trophy win in Kansas City. KUJH's Marla Martinez was there talking to fans about what it means to witness yet another victory.
Go Chiefs! Woo! The Kansas City Chiefs are once again Super Bowl champions. Many fans like Amy Harris began packing the streets almost 5 hours before the parade, excited to show their full support.
Amazing. I mean, my favorite part is the whole city just feels like electric and on fire, and I feel like we're all just like one big happy family right now.
Harris says she had no doubt the boys in red would bring home the win once again.
To see it actually come to fruition is amazing. I mean, it's unreal. At the same time, I know we're really good, and so it's neat to see their talent like prevail.
And of course, the most awaited by fans was the MVP himself.
Patrick Mahomes, 100%.
Kennedy Prestonback says making the drive from Manhattan means nothing, and getting to support the team once again.
You know, I came to the first one my freshman year, and now I'm a senior, so it's great to do it again.
With another championship for the Kansas City Chiefs, Joe Hardinger, KU student, says the city is the city of champions.
I mean, Kansas City just simply breeds success.
In Kansas City, Marlon Martinez, KUJH.
This will be the second time the Lombardi Trophy is brought to Kansas City during Patrick Mahomes' young 5-year NFL career.
And Kansas City is hosting the 2023 draft in April. KUJH's Anna Ambrose has the story on why this Super Bowl win was so important for the city.
Kansas City is on their feet again, celebrating at Union Station after another Super Bowl win. But the city is not sleeping yet. The biggest off-season event, the NFL Draft, will take place at the same locations in just under 2 months.
Big draft, and it's nice we have the last pick, you know, Super Bowl champions, so.
Kansas City's 5 rookies assisted the team to another championship yet again.
The draft is incredible. If you just look at what our rookies this year have done that we got from the draft last year, we had, I think, 7 starters, rookie starters. That's incredible. And each one of them stepped up and made a play in the Super Bowl, and they all contributed. It just goes back to head coach Andy Reid and also the hard work that each one of those players puts in every day.
What more could this team possibly need for another championship?
I know that I love Pacheco. He's my new favorite running back. He does an amazing job. There's a lot of good rookies. I love McKinnon. They're just amazing. They're all amazing. So we'll see. You know, it's just going to have to just wait it out and see what happens.
This past week, the Kansas City Sports Commission announced the NFL Draft location plans. The stage is to be set right around the iconic Union Station from April 27th through the 29th. I'm Anna Ambrose reporting for KUJH.
It looked like it was a cold one in Kansas City. Halen, should we expect more cold weather coming our way?
Well, good news, we are actually going to be seeing a little bit more of a warm-up coming this weekend, but we do have to get through today, though. It is quite cold out there. Doesn't help that we had a little bit of that wintry precip from this morning. Freezing rain, sleet. It's been a mess out there, and we're still continuing to see a little bit of that mess continue this morning and probably for the rest of this afternoon. We've got cloudy skies at the moment right now, but we are going to be expecting to try to clear things out later tonight. But as you can see, those snow accumulations out there stayed further to to the north than what we were initially expecting. We saw a lot more freezing rain across the area, which again left for a very messy situation for morning commuters and for morning class goers. But you can see those temperatures out there feeling not that great. We're at 24 degrees here in Lawrence and in those mid-20s across the area, but it feels like those upper teens out there, although looking further to the north, starting to look like more those lower 20s out there. But either way, it is horribly cold out there, but we are going to be looking to try to warm things up going into this weekend. You can see that satellite and radar look right now. You can still dealing with that cloud cover. There is a little bit some more snow development as you look further out to the west of us near Manhattan now. This is going to continue to move to the northeast, so more likely we'll still continue to see some flurries for the rest of the afternoon until once we get closer to the evening hours. But that storm system that tracked through late last night continuing to move further to the northeast, still bringing a lot of snow in parts of Iowa, but still seeing those flurries again here in Lawrence. And you can just see the overall weather pattern. This is quite a dynamic system. You can see it again. We've got the wintry precip and snow here in our area, but further out to the east of us and southeast especially, they've been dealing a lot of severe weather. At least there's a big severe weather risk, especially for parts of the south today. You can see those line of thunderstorms as you look further to the south. But good news for us, we're looking to dry out going into this weekend and warm up as well. But still a very cold evening in store for us tonight. Temperature is going to be dropping into those lower to mid, at least into those upper to mid teens for this evening, with again those clouds going to be continuing to move out. And tomorrow looking to be already in the better range so far. We're going to be seeing temperatures climbing up into those mid 40s as our high with those sunny skies, not as cold as what we're experiencing for today. And we're again just going to continue to warm up as we get closer to the weekend. Going to be seeing the return of the 50s and maybe a little bit closer to the 60s. You can see Friday we're back in the 40s. Saturday and Sunday finally back into the 50s, with maybe those upper 50s going into Sunday and maybe even to Monday as well for President's Day, or at least for Washington or President's Day. But even still, going to be seeing plenty of those 40s returning again going into next weekend. But still going to be keeping a close eye for some precipitation going into next week as well. But so far looking to stay a little bit more on the rain side of precipitation chances. But we're still going to be talking about, going to be enjoying the 50s for this weekend. Back to you.
Coming up, find out how one student turned his passion into a thriving boxing club on campus, attracting members of all skill levels and inspiring a new wave of athletes.
Welcome back to KUJH. I'm Anna Ambrose, and the men's basketball team is currently on a 3-game winning streak, 2 of those games being on the road at Oklahoma and recently at Oklahoma State. KU defeated the Cowboys with a much-needed win, 87-76, and ESPN's College Game Day will come to town this Saturday as the Jayhawks take on a very important Big 12 matchup against the #1 ranked Baylor Bears. KU women's basketball traveled to Morgantown, West Virginia to take on the Mountaineers after a 2-game win streak. The Jayhawks fell to the Mountaineers 62-60 and will return back home to play against #15 ranked Oklahoma on Sunday. Kansas softball season is in full swing, and the Jayhawks have started at an even 3 wins and 3 losses. The Jayhawks are playing against Cal State Fullerton in Mexico as we speak, and will finish up in the Puerto Vallarta College Challenge after 3 more games against Sacramento State, Liberty, and Ole Miss. Kansas baseball season is 1 day away from opening day in Corpus Christi, Texas. KUJH's Kyle Mathis has the insight to the team's preparation for the season.
Kansas baseball will start their new season with high expectations this Friday. Kansas comes into the season with 18 new transfers and a new head coach, Dan Fitzgerald, who has changed the culture around the team.
Yeah, it's been great. He's definitely changed, I feel like, who I am as a person, not only on the field but off. He constantly preaches to be above the bar, and that's in every aspect, not just on the field. That's, in the classroom, off the field, just everywhere. So that's really helped me a lot grow as a person, I feel like. So
Kansas comes into the season after a 20-35 record last season, where they ended the season on an 8-game losing streak. They understand how difficult it can be to not just go through the motions during the season.
Super long season, I think 56, regular season games. So if you look too far ahead, it'll eat you alive. So, you just take one day at a time, try to win every day, no matter what, and you go from there.
With the addition of all the transfers, Kansas recruited 2 former Louisiana State Tiger players, redshirt junior infielder Collier Cranford and sophomore infielder Luke Leto. LSU currently sits at number 1 in the preseason rankings. Their addition could be a big deal for the Jayhawk team.
And they're coming from a program where, the expectation at LSU, the expectation is not Omaha. The expectation is a national championship. So I think that expectation of 2 guys that willfully walked into that, you have to be tough to play there. And so for those 2 to come here, and yeah, so they've been awesome. I'm very, very thankful that they both came with.
Jayhawks play on campus at Hoagland Ballpark, which holds 2,500 fans. The players and staff would love to see the fans supporting them this season.
I think we're gonna have a good fun year, and I think you're gonna have fun when you come out to the ballpark, and we're gonna do our best to play winning baseball and clean baseball.
Kansas opens the season on Friday with a matchup against the Valparaiso University Beacons in Corpus Christi, Texas. First pitch is at 3 p.m.
But yeah, can't wait. Couldn't be more excited. These guys have worked their tails off, and we are ready for weekend 1.
A new club has formed at KU, and it's Packing a Punch. A student-run boxing club is gaining popularity on campus, with members of all skill levels joining in on the action. KUJH's Sam Goldman has more on the story.
Max Assad saw the potential for a boxing club at KU when he and his friends were sparring for fun at the rec center, and a number of students asked if they were part of a club. Assad organized meeting times, and within a few weeks of practice, the club grew to more than 40 members of all skill levels.
Yeah, we have people who have never put on boxing gloves before, and we have people who are 5-0 in their amateur careers. So, all skill levels are welcome. We've got something for everybody.
Rahul Bhattachan, a club member, says the mix of skill levels provides a valuable opportunity for improvement.
You don't want to be off balance.
And just everyone here is different skill levels, so there's just always something to learn. Whether it's mistakes or tips, that kind of stuff.
Assad emphasized that safety is a top priority for the club, with beginners required to wear headgear and mouth guards during sparring.
And, for beginners, we always say, if it's your first couple times, you shouldn't be sparring. And when you are ready to spar, you need a mouth guard, you need headgear, and you need to make sure that you're doing everything properly because it is dangerous.
But for those who are willing to put in the work, Assad says boxing is an incredible workout that can improve both physical and mental toughness.
I couldn't recommend boxing more. You're going to get in great shape. It's the greatest workout you can do. It's going to improve your confidence. It's going to improve just your mentality, your mental toughness, because it's hard. It's not easy to push yourself through these workouts, but these people show up and they do it twice a week. So, and we make it fun too. So, if you've ever wanted to hit somebody in the face and not get in trouble for it, this is the place to do it.
That's your look at sports for the week. We will be right back after this break.
You can be the greatest, you can be the best, you can be the king, come banging on your chest. You can beat the world, you can beat the war, you could touch up that door banging on his door. You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock, you can move a mountain, you can break rocks, you can be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you can find yourself. Stand in the Hall of Fame, and the world's gonna know your name.
Welcome back. What would you be willing to do to help some special athletes live their dream?
Some local folks showed they were willing to plunge right in to help. Michael Jamela joins us with more details.
It is a huge revenue building for Special Olympics. None of our Special Olympic athletes are charged any money to participate, and so this keeps the operations running and keeps it free and equitable for all students.
This year's plunge was a huge success in Mika's eyes, as her team raised $16,000 thanks to 169 brave people who took the plunge. Donations from other donors also boosted to this total, and that money will go a long way to help athletes that qualify to go to the games.
Anybody that holds Special Olympics dear to their heart, wants to take a plunge in the icy cold water, or just wants to do something good for somebody else, then anybody can sign up to participate for the Special Olympic Polar Plunge.
As shocking as the cold water can be, this fundraiser is very eye-opening in other ways.
It's changed the way we think about our lives, about the impact that our decisions have in general in life, and Special Olympics just provides a pathway for any person of any varying level of ability to succeed in high school.
Along with the plunge, Lawrence High School has started other campaigns with other high schools, hoping to create additional opportunities for persons with disability.
High school can either make or break somebody's life if they are neurodivergent. Either they're bullied and it's a really bad situation, or you have a situation like Lawrence High where they're uplifted and empowered, and it's a very cool thing to see, and I'm very thankful that I'm a part of it.
And these students had big goals.
I want to jump in this water and raise all this money. We raised $8,200. That's right. For these people, and we want to help people that are in need.
And while that goal is big, their heart for their community is even bigger.
Maybe 100,000. That would be nice. $100,000 would be nice. I wanted to get to there.
We will have to wait a full year before the Polar Plunge arrives again in Lawrence. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Michael. Catherine, have you ever been on the Jumbotron before in any sports event?
I've actually been on the Jumbotron the past 2 games, Kyle, 2 KU basketball games, although I didn't have anything planned for when the camera came on me besides just a cheer.
Well, a 4-year-old boy named George went viral at a Detroit Red Wings game. Take a look.
A cute 4-year-old's first hockey game resulted in instant celebrity status. The crowd cheered every time George came on the Jumbotron. The home crowd booed the opposing Vancouver Canucks fans, demanding to have George back on the Jumbotron. No no doubt a game George will never forget.
That's just great. Halen, I know it's icy out there. What should we be expecting? What should we be careful about?
We've got plenty of 50s and maybe a low 60s on the way for next week, so definitely look forward to that.
That'll be great. That's all for now. We hope that you're careful out there today. Don't slip on any ice. Thank you for watching KUJH. Make sure to tune in next week for more.
Next week, the rise in fake IDs in Lawrence. And for more coverage, be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and visit our website at tv.ku.edu.
What's happening, Jayhawks? How's it going? Welcome to Jayhawk Jukebox. I'm Jack.
Hi guys, I'm Chloe, and round of applause for Jack, guys. This is his first time.
Yeah, happy to be here. I'm totally not sweating down my entire body right now.
No, you're cool. You're
It's great.
chill.
Yeah. You could say I am chill, yes.
No, you seem chill. You seem very mellow, so that's good.
Yeah.
Just like the songs we chose.
Oh yeah, that is a very good point. Yeah, should we just dive right into the songs that we picked? Yeah, so this week, you know, it was Valentine's week. I wanted to stay lovey, but not go with like the typical ones that everyone always talks about for love songs, you know? So the song that I picked was The Dress by Dijon. Dijon's a really cool artist who I
had never heard of him before ever in my life. And actually, I started listening to some of his other songs, and they're very, I don't know, maybe they're not, but to me, the vibe I got was like low-key kind of like Frank Ocean.
Yeah, he's in that
more
realm.
Mellow, indie, just kind of, ways.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. He's in that same scene of like indie R&B, kind of cool stuff. But yeah, I really like him, and I watched some of his videos live performing The Dress, and his voice is so cool. It's so raspy.
Is it better live? Or is it better like?
I don't know. The recording's so good, but the live version is like, it adds so much to it. It's so cool.
Yeah, maybe I should watch, because I'd like to see how he performs live, because, I don't know, sometimes people are just like so much better live because the vibe is just so different, you know?
You know who's really good at performing live? Is Bruno Mars. That's
okay,
crazy.
right. I'm sure I've never seen him, but I'm sure he's great.
Yeah, he's great. I just had to throw my Bruno Mars plug in there.
Okay. Well, I guess like it kind of ties into mine, not at all. But you know, we've got Bruno Major, so we've got another Bruno. He's really good. It's called The Most Beautiful Thing. That's what's the song I chose. I was reading up a little bit about him today as I was listening to the song for the 100th time. Again, just trying to go off of the whole Valentine's Day thing. It's a little different. It's not about like a person per se. It's mainly for the single folk out there who are still waiting to find their person. And he just writes about, you know, seeing someone on the street and maybe that's going to be their person. He's just, you know, gallivanting around, waiting at restaurants, trying to see.
Wow.
Trying to see if his person's going to show up. You know, I don't know if they ever did for him, but it's a great song.
Yeah.
He actually, what I was going to say is that he wrote it with Phineas, who is another really great artist who I love.
Whoa. Phineas moment, yeah.
Yeah, you were telling me you don't really listen to Phineas, though.
I don't really listen to Phineas, but I did like this song a lot. I feel like a lot of Bruno Major songs are relatively similar, but they all have like their little unique flair. I also thought it was funny, and there's a line in it. It said, could it be a pavement or a sidewalk, which is like the same thing. And so I thought that was funny that he said that, but I don't know.
I didn't even think
Speak
about
your truth.
that.
Speak your truth, Bruno.
He was just saying his truth, so true.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really great song. I liked how chill it was. I've liked the song for a really long time. This is also good. Well, we're going to get on to our next segment. And yeah.
Yeah, have a good day. Peace out.
What up, Jukebox fans? It's a chilly Friday afternoon here on campus, but we're back on the street, of course. It's that time of year. Valentine's Day is coming up. We're asking you guys, what is your favorite love song? I'm Zach.
And I'm Quinn.
See what you guys have to say. Favorite love song of all time. Valentine's Day's coming up. What's your favorite love song?
Together by Amani?
Together by Amani.
I don't even know what day Valentine's Day is, to be honest with you.
We don't either.
I don't even know a love song.
There's so many.
Ojitos lindos.
Perfect.
It's like nice eyes.
Have any of you guys seen Juno? There's a song, Anybody Else But You, and it's kind of like an anti-love song. They're like, I hate everyone, but I like you. Michael Cera does a cover of it.
I just like ABBA a lot.
Quinn, what's your favorite love song?
My favorite love song, my favorite love song is She's Mine Part 1 and 2 by J. Cole.
My favorite love song is One More Love Song by Mac DeMarco off of This Old Dog. Great song.
Cake, Love You Madly. Sorry.
Cake? Okay, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Why's that?
Oh, I used to like listen to it all the time when I was like in the car with my brother and he was driving stuff. And like, he was like mid-2000s, just like when I was a little kid, he'd like play that. And I was like, sorry, I can't curse.
Probably any like Bruno Mars.
Locked Out of Heaven. That's mine.
Woo.
Yeah, Bruno Mars.
Yeah. Treasure.
I'd honestly say Bruno Mars too.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Treasure.
Not Treasure. I think Grenade.
Grenade. That's a good answer. Good answer.
I could catch a grenade for you.
Something about like
Take a bullet straight to my brain.
Hey! So you know how Valentine's Day is next week, right?
These Little Things Remind Me of You by Ella Fitzgerald.
Probably Ain't No Mountain High Enough.
Oh.
Marvin Gaye.
She's pulling it up.
I really like Those Eyes by New West.
In light of Valentine's Day being next week, we are asking, what's your favorite love song?
Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Thank you very much.
You're lying. You've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. I'm going to be completely honest with you. No clue whatsoever what that song is.
Maybe like You Belong With Me, Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Anything with like Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Gotta go classic Love Story by Taylor Swift.
I was gonna say that. I'm not even kidding.
How many is that? That's three? That's three Taylor Swift? That's four?
We got some good answers from you guys. Appreciate you coming out.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We got a bunch of great answers from y'all. And we'll see you next week.
Welcome back. I'm Dana.
And I'm Grace.
And we're going to be talking about kind of the Grammys and also the Super Bowl halftime show.
Yes.
So for the Grammys, I just kind of felt that the vibe this year was not, it was very low key. It was a low key Grammy, I think. Not much was going on. I feel like there wasn't anything that was like reportedly done that was kind of mainstream.
Except
but I feel
for Beyonce.
Yeah,
She
Beyonce.
had like the record-breaking, I think it was 32 Grammys.
Yes, total in history.
awards.
She won 4 Grammys.
Yeah.
I think
Beyonce.
Harry Styles won 2 Grammys, Album of the Year and Best Pop Vocal Album.
Harry's House.
Weirdly enough, Dave Chappelle also won for a comedy album. I think that that's something to mention. The Closer, I think, which was a really good one, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think was your like favorite Grammy?
Like winner?
Yeah.
I like the fact that Rosalia won just because I feel like she hasn't really been out for that long. But she has like the credentials for it. She won, I think, Best Contemporary Latin Rock Album, something like that. And then also Steve Lacy with Gemini Rights.
Of course, yeah. I was so happy that he was there and performing and
You
won.
love Steve Lacy.
Definitely one of my favorites for Urban Contemporary Album he won. And then Kendrick Lamar too. Oh, I was so happy for him.
Yeah, I feel like he deserves to win a Grammy, although it's not my favorite album. I think he won for The Heart Part 5, and then he also won for Mr. Morale.
Yeah.
So
Good for him.
Good for him. You know, everyone wants Kendrick to win.
Yes.
Beyonce, she won for her Renaissance album and her song Break My Soul, even though I liked Alien Superstar the most off that album, but, you know, she didn't win for that. And now I guess transitioning to what we really want to talk about is the Super Bowl halftime show with Rihanna, of course.
Of course, we love Rihanna. We stan.
We love Rihanna. My favorite song that she performed, which I was surprised that she performed, but nonetheless happy, was Wild Thoughts. You know, wow, wow, wow.
Unexpected, yeah. Every song, the people I was with were like, oh my gosh, she has so many hits. Like, they didn't realize that she did.
Yeah, and I felt like she didn't keep it too, like, it was basically mainstream, but she didn't keep it like too mainstream where it wasn't fun. I really wish she sang Disturbia, like, on the way.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too. Totally.
Like, me and all my friends were just sitting there wondering what song she was going to like start out with. They were literally making bets.
Yes.
They're like, she's going to start out with this. She started out with you know, Beach Better Have My Money.
Yeah.
And I think that was a good one.
It was really good. I saw the predictions on TikTok, and that was one. And I'm like, wow, she totally slayed it. The way she came out.
I feel like it was very powerful. She's like, yes, I'm back.
Totally. And then I also loved how she plugged her brand, Fenty Beauty, just for like a second. And
she announced her pregnancy.
Yeah. That was her special guest, which was so cute.
A lot of people were making jokes about that. Just like she just had a baby.
I know.
And she's pregnant. But you know, she's married to ASAP, so.
Right. And then the video of ASAP just like of her was so cute.
Yeah, I feel like her everything, it just felt like she never went away. Like she's always been there. Because like everything that she performed, I was afraid it wasn't going to be relevant, but like I feel like Rihanna's always relevant.
She was literally so perfect.
So yeah. I mean, other songs that she performed, like you said, Run This Town.
I love that song.
And Umbrella. Of course, she has to perform Umbrella.
All of the lights, too. I was surprised, because I think, wasn't Kanye supposed to be in the Super Bowl?
I'm not sure, but I know that she performed it. I know people were saying that, but she performed it a similar way that he would perform the song and, like, in his style. So I think, but, you know, because of his controversy and everything. He's Kanye.
It was just so good though, and I just loved her dancers that she had. A million of those dancers, and the way she was just floating and.
And pregnant. Yeah. I think I saw like so many memes about that, but also just like, can we take a moment for how many times Kanye has been controversial? Every year it seems like he can't perform anymore.
No.
So. But yeah, I mean. The Super Bowl seemed more fun than the Grammys. I feel like more people watched the Super Bowl halftime show.
Totally.
I mean, you could see by Rihanna's sales with her brand.
Yeah.
So,
Go Chiefs. that was just a plus added to the Rihanna.
No, exactly. So I feel like we deserved Rihanna, and she really came out and presented for us. So, yeah. What else?
I also really liked Work. That was a good one.
Yeah, she also sang Where Have You Been?
Yeah.
I feel like that was unexpected for sure, just because I feel like that's a Calvin Harris song.
Yeah.
It's not even really her song, but she...
Technically, yeah.
I wish she would have sang... I already said I wish she would have sang Disturbia.
I know. No, I thought that was going to be like the opening song, but... Oh, wow.
I'm very surprised she was performing, you know, she's pregnant.
I saw that like the most searches on Google were, is Rihanna pregnant?
My friend literally called it. She was just like on...
Because I thought, like, I didn't know if she had her baby.
Yeah.
I wasn't even sure.
Is it twins?
Yeah.
I'm like, still in the womb?
It seems so soon, but good for her. That's so exciting.
No, yeah. And, I mean, Pour It Up. Run This Town. I mean, she only sang 12 songs, but it felt like an entire concert the whole time.
It totally
did you go to like a Super Bowl party?
Yeah, I did. So it was great. I wish she had longer time, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like after that, I didn't even want to watch the rest of the game.
I know.
I was fulfilled, and then I just, yeah.
It's what all the girls wanted.
Yeah, it's what all the girls really wanted. But yeah, trying to think of anything else that Rihanna did. I mean, she was wearing red,
Yeah, and I thought it was pink on the screen when she came out. I was like, wow, she's in a hot pink. And then
she
it showed
seemed
up
to
red.
have a concept to her. People were saying it was like evolution of life was her theme. But I mean, I was more focused on the songs rather than like the theme. I think it was it was voted like 8th best.
Yeah, of all time.
Super Bowl halftime show of all time.
And like one of the most watched too.
I think it's been the best one out of all these years. Honestly, the last year's was a little odd. I mean, you had like 5 or 6 different rappers up there. I feel like they haven't had somebody to really like set the stage like Rihanna.
Right. Like she just did it by herself and did it way better than like if multiple people were up there.
That she wasn't vocally performing as much, like that she had a lot of tracks. But honestly, at the end of the day, Rihanna's always been a performer where she's a dancer, she's an entertainer. I mean, vocally, I feel like she's retired in that sense.
Yeah,
and she's even said that.
Didn't she say she's just done making music?
I think she said this year that she's going to try and release an album, but I mean, she always says she's going to release an album.
Yeah.
And nobody really ever expects her to release anything. But she's great nonetheless, you know?
Yeah, and her old songs will always be played.
Yeah.
Like, they're just so good.
No, so yeah, basically that's all that we have for you about the Grammys and more especially the Super Bowl halftime show with Rihanna.
So thank you.
Thank you. We'll catch you next time.
I'm Trinae Stokes with Hog Jukebox, and here are songs of the movement. There were so many songs to choose from, and I had a hard time trying to pick, but I wanted to be sure that I had a range of songs that touched on not just the struggle, but the joy, and that it spanned across genres from gospel to hip-hop. First, there's Tupac's 1991 song Words of Wisdom, where he introduces the acronym Never Ignorant, Getting Goals Accomplished. He continues to talk about education and how knowledge is power, and that it should be used to protect yourself and to get wherever you want to go. He then goes on to call himself America's Nightmare and starts a list of other rappers like Ice Cube and Public Enemy. He didn't stop at rappers. He named others that were deemed a threat to America, such as New African Panthers and Geronimo Pratt. Then the name he ended with was his mother's. The next song I have is Marvin Gaye's 1995 Inner City Blues, or Make Me Wanna Holler, where he talks about economic struggles such as inflation, causing money to be far and few between, causing bills to pile up. This song creates a feel of a low simmer of anger. At the end of the song, he makes a turnaround in the sound from the low simmer to something lighter, but with heavy words asking, who are they to judge us simply because we wear our hair long? As I said, I wanted to be sure I touched on the struggle and the joy of the movement. So the next song I have is James Brown's 1968, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. It was released 4 months after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. Despite the tragedy that the song came out of, it is a very upbeat song recorded with children that you can hear had so much fun feeding off of Brown's energy. With the verses of the song, Brown poetically talks about keeping it moving and not to quit until you get to where you're going. He also promotes entrepreneurship and just doing things for yourself. The last song that I have is Nina Simone's 1969, To Be Young, Gifted, and Black. Made while the Black Power movement was rising, Nina wanted to create a song to capture a movement of joy and Black identity. And although the song was directed towards children, it became an anthem for adults too. This song was a dedication towards her friend, the playwright Lorraine Hansberry, who wrote A Raisin in the Sun. Donny Hathaway did a cover of the song, slowing it down much further than the original, and also giving it more of a gospel feel with the organ played and the free ad-libs toward the end of the song used to emphasize the message. After listening to these songs, I thought of how unfortunate it is that these songs, especially the first two, are still relevant to the times in the world now. But it's always good to not only represent the struggle, but the joy of the movement, which is where the last two songs come in to counteract. But overall, they were songs with a message and songs that represent the movement.
Okay. Hi, it's Alexandria. I'm here with Truant Kids for an interview. This is Walter Sunrise.
This is Walter Sunrise.
And this is Now Rivers. So tell me a bit about yourselves individually and then as a group.
I'm Walter Sunrise. I've been producing music since 8th grade. I got an iPad and GarageBand was on there. I was like, I guess I'm gonna mess with this. So I just started doing a bunch of stuff on it, and then working on my own individual projects. So
I kind of have less experience than Walter did. I'm kind of like, I think of myself like as kind of exploring in a lot of ways, because I'm sort of a new, like I was never super, like I never grew, my parents didn't listen to a lot of music when I grew up or anything, so I was never super acquainted with it. So I feel like, I don't know, I'm really interested in like exploring music, and it's kind of a learning process for me, but I really just have a like deep enjoyment for it.
So what led to the formation of Truant Kids?
that's a fantastic question. So
basically, sorry to interrupt you, but I had been listening to some music, certain bands like MGMT, and I'd been listening to them over quarantine 2021, so like kind of later COVID, and I was getting really into it, and I had not listened to a lot before then, so nothing had really quite inspired me like that, and so I started learning guitar over quarantine as well, and so I like started writing some songs, and I wanted to record them and make them sound like this group, and I had known Walter because we knew each other in elementary school.
yeah, around the time of quarantine, we started talking more often. So we had been friends since like 4th grade, but we kind of just like were in different friend groups and sort of moved apart. But over quarantine, we kind of like shared this group chat and were in it for a while and started like hanging out and talking about music and stuff because that was something we were both into.
Yeah. So like, how would you describe yourselves as a group, like music-wise, like for any new fans?
We were talking about this last night, actually. I think that we like to think of ourselves as experimental, like the fringe of the mainstream.
It's very eclectic, very avant-garde.
But we incorporate a lot of elements, and I think as we move forward, we're going to be less psychedelic, possibly more electronic. It just really depends, but I think the best way to describe ourselves is to say that we have a lot in store.
So what have you guys found to be like the most difficult part of like trying to, you know, make it in the music industry? And
I feel like
practicing together.
Practicing is a big part, but that's on us, I feel like, and we don't practice enough. But I mean, practicing is something. What I feel like is just the digital environment is really difficult. It's so easy for people to make really quick judgments on our music.
Yeah, and just like stream counts.
Yeah.
Like seeing the ways that other people take off and we don't. We're like, what does this mean? But then again, it's like, it depends on the opportunities you take to actually get out there and to promote yourself.
Right,
and
definitely.
what's like the best thing been on the flip side?
Oh man, just like all of the music that we've introduced each other to, like in wanting to write, and then like towards the later end of our self-titled record, an influence that's come into another project is Talking Heads, and so we've both talked about a lot of Talking Heads recently.
And it's super it's like very rewarding just to know that you've like made a final product. We made a full-length album, which is just like amazing to me.
Yeah, Niall's like there's no one else I really met like Niall. He's just he's got an extremely intelligent sense of humor, and that's something I think translates really well into his lyrics and writing.
Well, thank you.
Which I think is really, really cool. So like, that's cool to see, because like, in any of the jokes that we make, it's either based off of records that we both know, or just certain pop culture trends, and yeah, I think that's another really cool thing about our records. It's just that sort of inside knowledge.
Right.
Hip-hop fans, rejoice! After 34 years, De La Soul's debut album, 3 Feet High and Rising, will be released on streaming on March 3rd, 2023, which coincidentally is the 34th anniversary of the album's release. If you're wondering why it took so long for this to happen, let me break it down for you. Basically, De La Soul was unable to release music due to a dispute with their label, who were allegedly reluctant to clear samples for digital release. Apparently, the samples used across early records were only cleared for physical media distribution. At the time of the contract being signed, obviously streaming did not exist. Ahead of the album's release, they've already released 2 singles from the album, the first one being The Magic Number, which gained popularity for playing at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home. I literally went to check right before filming this, and apparently they also released I Know this morning, February 3rd. I anticipate that they'll also release Me, Myself, and I and Buddy, which is a collaboration between De La Soul, Q-Tip, Queen Latifah, Moni Love, and the Jungle Brothers in the next coming weeks. I also wouldn't be surprised if they don't release Me, Myself, and I as a single, seeing as they never wanted that to be a single when it was originally released, so I would imagine they would skip out on that if they had their own choice. All in all, I'm very excited for this release. As someone who is obsessed with classic hip-hop and unfortunately didn't get to grow up with these artists in their heyday, and as someone who relies so heavily on streaming to find new, old artists, I think this would be great because it gives the opportunity for a whole new generation to love De La Soul.
What up, Jukebox fans? It's a chilly Friday afternoon here on campus, but we're back on the street, of course. It's that time of year. Valentine's Day is coming up. We're asking you guys, what is your favorite love song? I'm Zach.
And I'm Quinn.
See what you guys have to say. Favorite love song of all time. Valentine's Day's coming up. What's your favorite love song?
Together by Amani?
Together by Amani.
I don't even know what day Valentine's Day is, to be honest with you.
We don't either.
I don't even know a love song.
There's so many.
Ojitos lindos.
Perfect.
It's like nice eyes.
Have any of you guys seen Juno? There's a song, Anybody Else But You, and it's kind of like an anti-love song. They're like, I hate everyone, but I like you. Michael Cera does a cover of it.
I just like ABBA a lot.
Quinn, what's your favorite love song?
My favorite love song. My favorite love song is She's Mine Part 1 and 2 by J. Cole.
My favorite love song is One More Love Song by Mac DeMarco off of This Old Dog. Great song.
Cake, Love You Madly. Sorry.
Cake? Okay, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Why's that?
Oh, I used to like listen to it all the time when I was like in the car with my brother and he was driving and stuff. And, like, he was like mid-2000s, just like when I was a little kid. He'd like play that and I was like, sorry, I can't curse.
Probably any like Bruno Mars.
Locked Out of Heaven. That's mine.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bruno
Treasure.
Mars.
Yeah. Treasure.
I'd honestly say Bruno Mars too.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Treasure.
Not Treasure. I think Grenade.
Grenade. That's a good answer. Good answer.
I could catch a grenade for you. Something about like cutting yourself.
Take a bullet straight to my brain.
Hey! So you know how Valentine's Day is next week, right?
You want to hear my Valentine's? These Little Things Remind Me of You by Ella Fitzgerald.
Probably Ain't No Mountain High though.
Oh. Marvin Gaye. She's pulling it up.
I really like Those Eyes by New West.
In light of Valentine's Day being next week, we are asking, what's your favorite love song?
Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel.
Okay. Okay, that's a good one. Thank you very much.
You're lying. You've never heard of it.
I've never heard of it. I want to be completely honest with you. No clue whatsoever what that song is.
Maybe like You Belong With Me, Taylor Swift.
Okay.
Anything with like Taylor Swift. I'd
Taylor
say.
Swift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something along those lines.
Gotta go Classic Love Story by Taylor Swift.
I was gonna say that. I'm not even kidding.
How many is that? That's three? That's three Taylor Swift? That's four?
We got some good answers from you guys. Appreciate you coming out. I don't know what else to say.
Thanks for tuning in, y'all. We got a bunch of great answers from y'all. And we'll see you next week.
Welcome back to This Week in History, where we'll be recounting events in music history from the past week. I'm Alexandria.
And I'm Trinae.
In 1942, Chattanooga Choo Choo by Glenn Miller and his orchestra was the first recording to be awarded a gold record in the U.S. The first single to earn a gold record was Perry Como's Catch a Falling Star in 1957, and the 1955 Oklahoma soundtrack was the first gold-certified album.
On February 6, 1958, George Harrison joined the Quarrymen via recommendation from Sir Paul McCartney. This later evolved into what is now known as the Beatles.
The Beatles made their first appearance on The Ed Sullivan Show on February 9, 1964. The show received over 50,000 applications for the 728 in-studio seats. Notable figures in the audience were Richard Nixon's daughters Julie and Tricia, as well as gold medalist Terry McDermott.
On February 15, 1965, music icon Nat King Cole died of cancer at 45. He recorded over 100 hip-hop songs in his career and broke racial barriers. Alongside his prolific music career, Cole was the first black host of an American TV series, The Nat King Cole Show.
In 1970, Black Sabbath's self-titled debut album was released in the UK on Friday the 13th. The album was recorded in a single 12-hour session in 1969 and is regarded as the first heavy metal album, with its title track being the first doom metal song.
On February 7, 1970, Led Zeppelin earned their first UK #1 album, Led Zeppelin II. It remained on the charts for a total of 138 weeks in the UK and topped the Billboard 200 for 7 weeks.
In 1972, Paul Simon released his first single, Mother and Child Reunion, less than 2 years after Simon and Garfunkel split. The song title was inspired by a chicken and egg dish of the same name from a Chinese restaurant menu.
In 1977, Fleetwood Mac released Rumors, their 11th album and their first to top the charts worldwide. Rumors sold over 10 million copies in its first month of release and earned Album of the Year at the Grammys. It was later included into the Grammy Hall of Fame and is preserved in the Library of Congress on the National Recording Registry.
In 1978, the Bee Gees kicked off a 4-week run at the top of the Billboard Hot 100 with Stayin' Alive.
On February 8, 1981, REM held their first ever recording session at Bombay Studios in Smyrna, Georgia. Their first single was recorded in this session and was released that July, which led to their record deal, and the single appeared as a re-recording in their 1983 debut, Murmur.
On February 14, 2010, Doug Fieger, co-writer of the hit song My Sharona, passed away after a long battle with cancer. The song was written for Sharona Alperin, one of Fieger's former girlfriends.
Whitney Houston was found dead at the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel on February 11, 2012. She passed due to a combination of heart disease and cocaine use on the night of the 54th Annual Grammy Awards. Houston had many hits including I Wanna Dance with Somebody Who Loves Me, The Greatest Love of All, and I Will Always Love You.
In 2023, Rihanna becomes the first person to perform a Super Bowl halftime performance while pregnant. This is her second child with partner A$AP Rocky after having their first child in May.
February 12, 2023, David Jolicoeur, aka Trugoy, the dove of the hip-hop group De La Soul, passed away at age 54. His cause of death has not been revealed, but in 2017, he revealed that he struggled with congestive heart failure. We will see you in 2 weeks at 4:30.